welcome to the Spirit Essence Show. I'm Tara Diana. This is my lovely guest, Surbey. I am, as always, excited to be here, to be with everyone. As an empowerment medium, there's nothing that brings me more joy than showcasing other individuals that work under the same premises I do, body, mind, and spirit. We all have a different flavor, and we all connect with individuals differently, but it's all under the same flow. And today, I have the pleasure of welcoming Carol to our space. Carol has been in my world for well over 10 years. Yeah, well over 10 years. I met her. I don't even remember how I met Carol. What I do remember about Carol is her participating in my wellness events with the lovely Tina Cleland way back when. And I have so much of your product that you used to make. I have the feathers. She is an amazing entrepreneur. She's an amazing craft. She used to make the most beautiful feathers, you guys. I don't know why I didn't bring one on hand, but I have about 4 or 5 of them. Show us a feather, Carol.
Bear with me here. I've got a little selection right here.
Oh, I love that one.
This one's my that's my personal one.
I love that one, Carol.
Yeah, too bad.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have many of your work, and I'm very proud. I even have, actually, I have a beautiful wand that Tina bought me one year. It's a fairy wand that you had made.
I believe it was for your birthday.
It was for my birthday, and I
Right.
still have that sitting. Right, it's put away for the Christmas holidays because I've got my Christmas stuff out, but it sits out all the time. So, Carol, welcome to my space.
Thank you very much, Tara. So great to be here. Yeah, many of your listeners might remember me hitting them with feather wands at some of your shows and checking in intuitively to what was happening within their chakra system and what they needed, what was working well and what wasn't. And I remember many tears happening in those shows, but you know, through the grace of the people that attended, they would come back the next year and say, "Hey, Carol, you know what you said? You were right. Hey, Carol, you know, and I followed your instructions and you were right." So, so many people might not know my name, but they know who I am because I've already whacked them.
That is so funny. That is true, though. Right? I mean, a lot of the work that we do, and let's just jump right into this. A lot of work that we do, the 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐿ites come afterwards where someone says, "Oh my Goddess, Tara, you were right. You know, I do know what you were I do know the person you brought through, etc., etc." But Carol, you and I lost a little bit of time in between as you moved away from Vancouver and up into the interior, and I expanded, and then you expanded, and you're all sorts of things now, as am I. But I can't express how excited I am about your journey and us coming back into that fold again and working together. But let's take this moment to enlighten our viewers about who you are and what you do right now. I know you have so much to offer, and I think you can share it.
Yeah, well, you know, like most of us in the healing and wellness realm, as we're getting well known, we always have to have, you know, jobs, right? So I do have a kind of, I'm a contractor, so I really can pick my time and space. So I actually am a business coach. But outside of that, the one thing I love about the coaching is that I can bring in the intuitive nature. I can bring in the channeling. How many times I finish a conversation with one of my clients and I made a few notes, but honestly, I know the intention of what was said. I know the feeling of what was said, but the actual words that came out of my mouth, they weren't mine. They were exactly what the client needed to know at the time. So currently I am channeling through the work that I do, and I'm looking to take it away from the business coaching and more into you know, general, I guess you could call it life coaching if you wanted to give it a term, but just letting people know, you know, where they are, what spirit needs them to know, and what to do next. Yeah, you and I touched base again probably early in the spring, because yeah, I moved away from the Lower Mainland, and in my community there's not a huge there's a huge spiritual community, but they're not very organized. So I reached out to you because I really needed to get back into that community, and I've been working with you in group settings since about then, and it's been fantastic. Yeah, and through our work together, I really realized that I actually channel quite differently than many of the people in the group.
This is true. This is very, very true.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been encouraged to, no matter what the group is doing, to do it my way.
And I appreciate that, Carol. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I think that is a very valid point, is that we are very unique in how we do things. And a lot of people come into my intuitive circles, and my intuitive circles, they run a long time. So 3 years is average for people to stay in my circles. I think we're heading into the 4th year for some of these people. And the point of the circle is to find your uniqueness, right?
Exactly.
It's to practice and have people be able to give you that feedback. We all need to have a little bit of that something from someone else saying, yes, that resonates, other than just sitting by yourself, you know, going, okay, is this what I'm doing? And it is very important, and I say this all the time, that when new people come into my space and want to develop and grow and prosper, and this isn't pertaining to you at all, because you've already been quite unique in your work. I always say, do not think you're going to become me. Do not think that you're going to become Tara Diana, spiritual empowerment medium. You're not. You're going to become so-and-so, the beautiful soul that does this. Do you see what I'm saying? And
well, and isn't that the grace? Isn't that the grace? Because we all have our own spiritual nature, and what nature resonates with one person doesn't resonate with the other. It's like having a restaurant, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of restaurants, but some people like the flavor of one restaurant over the other, and that's just the nature of it. So no, nobody should be you, and nobody should
no
be
one
me.
should want to be me, let me tell you. There's a whole lot of here.
A whole lot of, right? Right. So yeah, it's been a journey for sure. And I appreciate everyone in the circle that's been there to support and give feedback. And yeah, I'm looking now to move my channeling out into the world, and in doing so, supporting people and honestly the world through this next part of our journey. We're all in challenging times right now, and whether you know it or not, we all have internal and external stresses on us right now. And it is my desire to help people navigate those stresses by speaking to them through spirit.
Excellent. I love that. And because you've been exploring new avenues with your work with spirit, channeling, etc., I like to call what you do intuitive guidance. So you know, someone comes to you and you give them what they need to know, because that's the truth. We have nothing to do with it. We are the vessels that provide the messages, whether it's through mediumship, channeling, etc. So how you've explained how the transformation came for you. You've explained, you know, new connections, working with individuals, etc. But is this really a transformation in your mind? Is this really you transforming, or is this just bringing a new flavor to what you already do or were doing?
Yeah, it's a growth, it's an expansion. It's taking everything I've known. I'm actually a spiritualist minister. I'm graduate and registered in the Canadian International Metaphysical Ministry. I've been studying channeling. You know, I've sat in closed circle for 4.5 years. I've been doing this work a long time. So I think, just again, whenever you're becoming proficient in anything, there's always layers to it, right? My son is a 3rd-year electrician, and I like to use that analogy. Like, you go to electrician school and you learn the basics, and then you need time to play with it, time to, you know, embrace it, for it to become natural. And then you go through these layers of growth, right? Layers of expansion. So I don't think it's that I'm shifting or changing. It's that everything is just becoming more congruent, and it's allowing an up level, so to speak, if that makes sense.
Absolutely does. And we want, you know, it was in the intuitive group, Harbinder, another practitioner, he labeled my intuitive circle leveling up. We level up, which is exactly what we're doing. We're growing, we're expanding, and I love that. Hey, when I say to you empowerment, what do you get? What's your definition?
growth and standing for oneself.
Yes, girl, that's it right there. I love that. Let's talk about empowerment for just a second. We are a spiritually inclined community reaching out to everyone. We don't negate anyone in this work. You know, you don't have to, you can be from any organized religion, whatnot, philosophy, but you know, we don't judge. Who are we to judge? But to accept what we have comes from a place of knowing who you are. And I find that a lot of the people coming into my personal space right now, and you and I discussed this briefly beforehand, is a lot of people looking for their life purpose. Now, I'm not a life coach. And as I said to you, I'm not even a business coach, although I'm building people's businesses through spirit. I'm just a vessel. So everything I do is channeled. Individual people have individual ideas and thoughts about who they are and what they can accomplish. And I really feel that spirit has avenues for people to develop further, to expand and do it with ease. And I truly feel that empowerment comes from the ability to trust yourself and therefore trust the process that comes through spirit. Whether they recognize spirit or not, whether they believe that that I talk to people that have crossed over or not makes no difference. If they can believe that there is an energy out there that is willing and wanting to ascend us into this beautiful energy of self-improvement, self-empowerment. I almost feel like spirit's looking at us going, do better, do better. You can
do better without the judgment.
Exactly.
Right. And here's what I'm absolutely loving, and I'm able to really take it into my coaching really, really well. Through the understanding that we're all in growth, you know, and understanding some of our, you know, current life circumstances, some of our past life circumstances, right? I really feel as though myself in particular, I feel it's you too. We really have compassion for people, and we allow a space where there is no judgment. True. You know, there really, really isn't, because we know that whatever a person's life circumstances are is there for a reason, there for a season, there for a lesson, there, you know, and as I said before, it's all in flux anyways. So, you know, and then being able to help people take that, set the intentions, and then implement the manifestation of those intentions to grow to the people that they want to be, and fulfilling their life's dreams or desires, or you know, it might be as simple as, I want, you know, how can I buy a home, but to be able to sit and listen to spirit. Because here's the thing, I always find, me personally, when spirit's talking to me, it is that little whisper, and we all know that, and I hear it, and then I'll hear it again, and I'll hear it again in different ways, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get the message. I'm starting to understand that this is the next thing. I don't get it in a great big download, a great big dump, a great big, you know, whatever. It's just all the little things. And then one day, and you and I were talking about this prior to the show, one day I wake up and it's like, okay, it's time. And you're like, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. And it's like, but you have all that you need now, because it was given to you with kindness, compassion, gentleness, ease, effortlessly. It's given you time to mull it over, to understand it. And now it's go time. And I love, like, I love that, you know, and then there's people like you and me out there that can confirm, yes, it's go time. Yes, you've heard this instruction already. Yes, you know this already. So really empowering them to follow through on that which they already know. Love that.
I do too. And you know, it's so funny. We were talking about this, and when you were saying it, I was giggling as I'm sitting here, because I literally woke up this morning and picked up my phone. I don't even know if I really fully opened my eyes, picked up my phone and texted out on my Facebook, looking for empowered women wanting to do a summit in February. Hit me up. I mean, I knew I was going to the summit. I had it marked in my book. I have no documents ready to send out to anyone. I had nothing. And I've got all these people like, hey, I want to participate. And I'm like, hey, I'll get back to you. But at least I put it out there, and that was the key thing. And again, that summit would be something for growth, not about the practitioners, about the registrants. The practitioners will grow because we always grow when we do the work, but the registrants, those are the ones that are going to really benefit from it. And Spirit was like, okay, you're procrastinating without knowing you're procrastinating.
Right.
Can we just wake up and
Time.
do this?
Time.
Right, exactly.
Oh, shoot.
Carol,
yeah.
is there one lesson that in your humanness that you've learned in your humanness? And when we talk about humanness, we're talking about ourselves as the spirit having the human experience that has helped you in your spirituality.
One lesson in the humanness. Rest. Oh,
God darn you, woman. What is that? And sorry, how do I get some of that, please?
Yeah. Well, you know, in our humanness, we have all of these, what does Carolyn Miss call them? Archetypes, right? We have to be this, we have to be this, we have to be this. But when we are all of that for everyone else and none of it for ourselves, we get depleted, we get drained, we get brain fog, we get all of that. And the best way to mitigate that is to rest. Rest to allow the creativity to come through. Rest in order to be able to hear those little whispers, you know. And when I say rest, I don't mean, you know, sitting on the couch at 9:30 at night scrolling TikTok. I mean,
oh, that's not resting.
No, that's not rest. It means putting all the distractions away and just allowing yourself to be with you. Now, whether you do that at 9:30 at night, propped up with pillows in your bed, or whether you do that by taking your dogs without your phone for a walk out in nature, or you sit in the sunshine. I've got glorious sunshine here today. Sit in the sunshine for 10 or 15 minutes while you just like soak up that vitamin D, and just to be with yourself, to appreciate who you are. And in doing that, we also have the opportunity to realize where we're doing really, really well and where maybe we can offer some improvements.
I love that. And since you're such a good friend of mine, hold me accountable, because rest is not my forte.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and again, getting back to the archetypes, right? And you and I have also talked about ways that you're going to redo things or delegate things so that you can get a little bit of rest. But, you know, some of us in our stories as we've grown, you know, rest was not something that was okay. It wasn't something that it was considered lazy, or it was considered, you know, or you were told that you constantly have to be the doer. Well, no. I'm here to tell you, you're not. And I'm not saying you take days and days and days and lounge on the couch and, you know, sit in your home for days and days. I'm suggesting
that's not happening.
I'm suggesting 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Last night, I was tired. I went and got into bed at 8:30. I scrolled TikTok. 9 o'clock, I was like, okay, I'm almost ready. I put my phone away, and I like to allow myself to fall asleep, right? I'm a good sleeper. So I don't know, by 9:15, I was fully asleep, restfully, without a whole bunch of stuff weighing on me, without the TikTok stuff rolling through my mind, or Facebook, or whatever your poison is, right?
It's just TikTok.
Yeah, right.
It's TikTok. Is every dog, animal,
horse
video out there on TikTok. I'm in like a dirty
mimosas. Christmas mimosas. Yeah. But just really allowing, and here's the thing, like the permission has to come from you.
Good point.
Right? The permission has to come from you. So, my lovelies, I give you all permission to rest when you need it. Actually, I learned a really good technique the other day, and it was super cool. And it's as simple as freeze. Like literally freeze. Hold your breath and wait until you get that, and Some moments it's 2 seconds, some moments it's 7 seconds. You get that boom, and all of a sudden you're regrounded, you're refocused, it's amazing. So even in those moments where you can't rest for whatever reason, take a moment and freeze.
I love that. We've got to put that out to the group. We've got to put that out there. We've got to start incorporating that. And, you know, something that you said, I just want to touch base on very quickly here is that you said, you know, you don't have to spend days laying on your couch oming, thank the great goddess.
Right.
But I like the idea for someone who has got like little hamsters in their brain constantly connecting to spirit and whatnot, and find it hard to download. I mean, I'm like a light switch, let's be honest. I can turn it off and on. When it comes to my spiritual connections, which is very cool. I'm very grateful for that ability to be able to just be on or be off. But my mind continuously goes. I like the idea of like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Because the idea of sitting in, you know, I can give a great meditation, Carol. I can send you on a journey forever. Can I go on the journey though if someone else is doing it? No, I
Yeah, me
cannot.
too.
And I've never been ashamed. I've never been ashamed to say that, because I don't buy into to be spiritual, you have to be able to still your mind and be quiet. If I bought into that, I wouldn't be doing the work I'm doing. So my thing is, find what works for you, and that freeze thing resonates. And I guarantee you there's thousands of individuals out there that, you know, hear the word meditation and like, or they have the wrong idea of what a meditation is. Take 10 minutes or freeze. I'm going to use that freeze all over the place.
Because here's the thing. If you're standing in a lineup at a grocery store, you can freeze, right? If you pull into a parking lot, if you need to kind of regenerate, reground, redo that energy before you go and face whatever it is you're facing, freeze.
Oh, I love it. I do. I love it.
Well, this is a lot of the somatic therapies, right? That I also really, really enjoy is kind of these hacks on how to, you know, ground and center the body so that in what's the word I'm looking for? In a community and in a world that we're all so busy overdoing, whatever we can do to take ourselves out of that trauma, the fight, the flight, the freeze, or the fawn, you know, which many of us, you know, would go into every situation in one of those four, right? So the more grounded you can go into a situation, the more real you can be, the more real conversations you can have, the more you can actually connect with people. So anything I can do to kind of hack those trauma responses, I think is a really, really valuable tool. So just freeze, check in, and wait for, you'll feel it. Like I even used it with a client the other day. He was like, and I said, Paul, freeze. And he's like that. I said, Paul, freeze. And he did. And I physically went, I said, okay, there it is. There it is. And he's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm incorporating that in my work.
Yeah.
I think it's the fastest and easiest way to get people to take that moment to step back. Once they start incorporating that, I guarantee you, even for me, I guarantee us that we will be far more in our power.
So even that is a rest.
Absolutely. I agree with it.
Right.
Carol, what is one thing about this type of work that you didn't expect? And is that a good experience, or is it?
I didn't expect how many people said to me, it's about damn time.
Oh.
You know, because I was always that teenager, right? I was always a teenager where I was fortunate, you know, I kept most of my clairs open until I was probably 18 or 19. So whenever my girlfriends in high school or whatever, you know, they needed an answer, they would all come to me. Like I was that person, right? Then I married and kids and all that stuff. I shut it down for probably about 15 years. And then probably about 14 or 15 years ago, started opening it back up. And I actually went to my kids a few months ago and I said, I'm going public with this. And they're like, it's about time. I went to my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about time. Okay, cool. And I'm like, no backlash. No, you guys got
Right.
nothing else to say. It's like, no, go have fun.
And that is the best thing, is when you have the support system behind you.
Right.
My
Right.
husband, Roman Catholic, his family's practicing Catholics. Mike is not. And you know what he said to me when I quit being a bookkeeper and said, no, I can't do bookkeeping full time, do this full time. Kids, I got to pick something. And my good friend Lynn White will say this to me: I told you for years to stop doing bookkeeping. When Mike looked at me and said, hey, you make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you got to do. I don't have to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me permission.
Mm-hmm.
Right, in my mind, because I was afraid. Would I let him down? If you lose, you become your own boss, and it's a very different world, and one I would never have been used. I've always worked for someone till then, and I've been doing this over 20 years now as an independent practitioner. But honestly, I love having the support. I love having the support.
Well, and that you've also hit on the permission piece. So not only from a practitioner's point of view, but also from a client's point of view. How many of our clients come to us in secret, because they want to know, but they're actually not planning on sharing the information with their loved ones because their loved ones aren't supportive of it.
That's right.
For whatever reason. Anyways, gets back to archetypes and family stories and trauma stories and all of the all. But it's really amazing how much as our humanness, which was the original question, seeks the permission. Right. And me personally, I don't think I have an answer to that, because I'm guilty of it as well. You by your own admission, you were at some point guilty of it to some degree as well. And it's just crazy how we contort ourselves.
Well, it comes down to, again, judgments, expectations, all these things. And remember, being spirit, having a human experience, we're meant to go through these things. So we're meant to figure out our way through these processes.
Yeah.
And how we do that is how we move forward. And there are people that one of the things that I didn't expect when I got into really the spiritual community was how much ego was out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Was how much ego, and how people, perceived if you were strong in what you did, you were, oh, she's got an ego. If you were good at what you did, you had ego. If you called out other people and you're like, oh, she's coming from a bad place, when in truth, I don't, no one wants to see anyone fail.
Yeah.
We're all psychics, we're all mediums. It doesn't mean we're all meant to do the work.
Well, that's right. Absolutely right.
So I was a little surprised. I'm used to it by now. I've been involved in this for a very, very long time. So I'm used to it by now. And I'm sure that there are people out there that, have issues with how I do the work or whatnot. And you know what? I'm okay with it, because we're all a different flavor.
And, I'm always interested in, and kind of to your point, it's a little bit of a tangent. I'm always interested in clients' reactions, because, when it comes to ego, I don't think you have ego. I don't think I have ego. When we bump up against these things that might be called egoic, to me, they're opportunities for growth. There are opportunities to ask those questions. If I'm feeling jealous, because let's face it, that's what ego is. If I'm feeling jealous, it's like, where am I feeling not enough? Right.
That's a great point.
And exploring that more within myself, rather than saying, oh, knowing that I'm jealous of Tara. Oh, she must be like meh, 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 meh. It's like, no, Tara's doing her flavor. What is it about me that I don't want to let her do that?
That's a great way to put it. Wow, so much insight. The way you're speaking is speaking to me. That's great.
Yeah.
Carol, as we come to a close, why, in your own words, should people seek you out, girl, for what you have to offer? What are they, why do they need to see you?
They need to see me because I connect with all of the beings, not just past loved ones. I connect with all of the beings that have what I refer to as universal messages for you specifically. If you're looking for a loved one to come in, quite often they do, but that's not the entire focus. The entire focus is on you and what you need to hear for your growth moving forward.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend you.
Well, thank you, Tara.
You're welcome.
I love you too.
Aw, thanks. Listen, I want to just say to everyone that on, I believe it is the 26th, which is Boxing Day, I'm going to be hosting. I'm going to invite some practitioners to join me. It's only for an hour on Boxing Day at noon to give some messages from the Spirit Essence Show to the individuals. It's going to be a live audience. So join us. For more information, send a message through the website, www.spiritessence by Tara Diana, and look forward to all the new things coming for us and the work that Carol's going to do. We're going to showcase her. And Carol, I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Same to all of you out there. If I don't see you, join us on the 26th. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Carol, much love to you, my friend.
Much love to everyone.